when people started talking to me, you'd think that they would say, well, we're looking to hire people who can program in JavaScript or SQL, or hey, we're looking for somebody who can drive a forklift, or somebody that really understands the Adobe Creative Suite. But that's not what I heard at all. The same things heard over and over again. They said, show us people who are excited, enthusiastic, have a positive attitude. We want people who are going to show up for work every single day on time and work throughout the course of their shift. We need individuals who know the difference between a personal and a professional life, who are going to come to work attired, representing us, not in fuzzy bedroom slippers and a t-shirt that says my inner child is a nasty bastard. We want people who will work for us and not just do the minimum daily requirement. We'll go above and beyond the standard, look to find ways to create value, know where the elbow grease is, and understand that we've got to move ourselves forward by creating value in this company, in this organization. I don't care if you're flipping pizzas or flying the space shuttle. They're non-negotiables. There's no one in this room that could be in this room if you threw one or more of these under the bus. You think about the people that report to you right now. What if they were excellent in 6 of them, but really bad in the 7th? What if everything was perfect, but you just couldn't trust them? Or you could trust them, everything was great, except they just didn't show up 2 or 3 days a week. Or everything was perfect here, but they just did the minimum. They didn't push themselves to do any extra. See, they're non-negotiables in every single business, in every single industry, in every single career, at every single level.
As an award-winning keynote speaker, an in-the-trenches expert in generational differences, and the author of the only business book on work ethic written in the last 100 years, Eric Chester is the premier expert on what today's leaders need to do to engage, develop, and retain the emerging workforce.
And right now, as an employer, you probably have certain questions when somebody new comes into your place of employment. You have to ask yourself, what is it they know or don't know about these 7 fundamental values? What do they know? What don't they know? But it's not just what they know. It's also important to understand what they may do or not do with regard to these 7 values, right? So we've got this real interesting quadrant here, if you think about it. 4 points between what they know and what they don't know, which is their cognizance, and what they will do and not do based upon that, which is their compliance. And at the intersection, cognizance and compliance, you have 4 interesting styles of behavior. See, if you have employees in your workplace that don't know what to do and they don't do anything, you know what they are? They're idle. Now, you've heard of American Idol. This is a different kind of idle. But when a person is idle, they have absolutely no value to you. It doesn't matter. If I came to work for you and you put me in your parts department, I guarantee you I'm going to be in this quadrant. Now, I have a master's degree, I've written 5 leadership books, and I've lectured around the world. You have to think, I know a lot, right? But I know nothing about parts. So I would stand there, I wouldn't know what to do, and I probably wouldn't do anything. All of a sudden, I'm idle. Now, what happens if I just start entering numbers into a keyboard and I happen to get one code right? Boom! You hit the lottery. I don't know what to do, but I wind up doing something right, and then I'm lucky. Now, lucky isn't bad, it's just not sustainable. You can't run your business on luck. What happens if an employee knows what to do and doesn't do it? Isn't that the quadrant that drives you crazy? When people know what to do but they don't do it, then they're cheating. And of course, I'm speaking to them, not us, because nobody in this room has ever cheated. I mean, nobody in here has ever driven 1 mile an hour over the posted speed limit. Nobody's ever ripped off a tag off a mattress or a pillow, because it clearly states don't do that under penalty of the law. See, if you're busy right now as a leader putting people into these quadrants that work for you, let me tell you something, that's a dangerous trap, because these aren't labels for the people that work for you. These are quadrants of behavior, and people move in and out. We've all been idle, we've all been lucky, and we've all cheated. You know where you want the people that are working for you right now, whether it's the front of the house, the back of the house? Every member of your team, everyone who's getting a paycheck that you're writing, do you know where you want every single employee? You want them in the quadrant that says, I know what to do, and I'm going to do it. I know what to do and I'm going to do it, because when they know what to do and they do it, now all of a sudden they have value. They have values themselves and they are of value to you. And when you think about it, that makes you, their leader, part teacher and part motivator. Because what you're trying to do is teach them what to do and then motivate them to do it.
Eric offers practical ideas and actionable strategies that stimulate employee engagement and bolster productivity. And he helps leaders drive sales and service into their front line by showing them how to develop their people from the inside out.
Rules without a relationship lead to rebellion. Rules without a relationship lead to rebellion. If I don't like you, I might do what you're telling me to do when you're standing right over the top of me. But if I think it's a ridiculous rule, the moment you turn your back, I'm going to see if I can get away with doing it my way. And maybe my way and your way puts me in the cheating quadrant. So it's important to get personal, to know that individual at a core level. What do I know about the people who work for me? The more I know about you, the more I'm able to find connecting points. The more I can find ways to motivate you, solve challenges, and overcome conflict. Relevance just simply says, here's what I want you to do, and here's why. Now, mature adults are not warmly receptive to the notion of attaching rationale to everything we ask young people to do. We think to ourselves, I did what I was told, and I expect them to do what they're told. I say jump, you say, because that's the way you played the game. But here's the thing. You can't manage them the way you were managed. You can't teach them the way you were taught. You can't parent them the way you were parented. The golden rule says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But the platinum rule says, do unto others as they would have done unto them. That puts the onus on us to know who they are. It's so important to make the instructions that you have, especially when it comes to these values, crystal clear. What does reliability look like in your business? When you say you're on the schedule at 1 o'clock, what does that mean? Most people say, well, I have to be there at 1 o'clock. Really? You think LeBron James shows up at game time? You think he gets out of his Bentley at 7 o'clock for a 7 o'clock tip-off? Or was he there several hours earlier because, baby, when it's game time, you got to be ready to go? Are you enforcing that throughout your organization? Do people really understand the clarity of the rules that you have in place? Sometimes we think we need to add more rules. Let's keep adding. Get away from that. Lighten it. Stay light and tight. Make sure that everybody knows your non-negotiables. The things that everybody in your culture and your organization clearly understands. So it's not an American problem, it's not a generational problem, it's just a problem. It's a mentality. It's a I want something for nothing mentality. You know where it's easiest to fix? The younger you get. By the time you get to be 45, 50 years of age, that cake is baked.